I have been tasked with introducing our keynote speaker for the afternoon. AnMarie Martin is an extraordinary, charismatic woman from San Juan, Puerto Rico. At age 36, she decided to show her sassiness. She left a successful and lucrative career in corporate America with Emeritus Corporation to pursue her lifelong dream of law enforcement. A survivor of childhood abuse, she always longed to serve and protect those who could not protect themselves. Community service is woven into the fabric of Martin's life. In her spare time, she mentors young girls, advocates for women's rights, and serves the Gainesville community in many other ways. AnMarie was nominated to be one of the 2014 Community Heroes by Women's Source Corporation, a local nonprofit organization whose motto is to encourage personal and professional success for all women in Northeast Georgia. AnMarie tells her story. She is a valiant woman who tells her story with vigor, humor, and sincerity. Allow me to present to some and introduce to others Ms. AnMarie Martin.
I like hugs.
I know.
Brenau, you officially rock. I can tell you that for a fact. You rock. Give yourselves a hand. That was fantastic. I enjoyed every second of that. The dancing, the piano, oh my God, everything. I just loved it. I'm so privileged. I'm so honored. And I am truly humbled to be here today. After you hear my story, you will understand why. I'm going to try my best to talk slow. It's a challenge because between thinking in Spanish and trying to talk in English, sometimes Spanglish come out and he's going to be like, what did you say? Come again? You know, so I have Valerie right here. She's going to kind of like flag, hey, slow down and stuff like that. But I only have 20 minutes, so I better take my phone. Watch, I'm doing it. I'm being good, Valerie, okay? Because she said she's going to turn off the lights if I go over 20 minutes. And she will, okay? She will do just that. So I'm doing it right now, Valerie, okay? So here we go. Now, let's do this the right way. Good afternoon, Brenau University. Thank you to the administrative staff, educators, students, family members, and general guests. Thank you for being here. Special thanks to an outstanding, vivacious, a perfect storm of positive energy. Your Dean of Students, Valerie Simmons. Thank you for having me here. Thank you. I also had the pleasure to meet, because, you know, they had to check me out because it's not that easy. And it's like, who is this lady, okay? So she brought somebody else with her, and I had the pleasure to meet a delightful, attentive, easy to talk to, your Vice President of Student Services, Amanda Lammers. Where are you sitting, Amanda? Where's Amanda? Hi. Hola. And let me tell you, she has the responsibility of supervising the perfect storm over here, okay? So give her another round of applause, okay? That's a full-time job. Again, gracias, thank you to both of you for trusting me with your students and staff members. I had the pleasure of meeting el presidente of this institution, the president, Mr. Schneider? Dr. Schrader, there you go, it's the accent, Dr. Schrader. But let me tell you, Dr. Schrader, that I have to do it that way, ladies and gentlemen, because my accent is pretty strong. Dr. Schrader, if these two ladies that I met are any reflection of what you are and this institution represents, you are, sir, right on point. Yes, you are. Now, Valerie, did I say that correctly? So the email? So. Well, you know, officially my name is AnMarie Martin. That is the English version because, you know, on my birth certificate, my real name, and you know, I figure I tell you what my birth certificate says because if we have learned in America to say Chowkowski, you know how Chowkowski, you know, you look at the word and it's like, what? You know, but if we learn to say that, I figure, you know, I can tell you what my real name is. It's AnMarie Vargas Santiago, Martinez Perez Lopez Rivera Gomez, Perez Benitez, Mistral. You know, so I figure you guys could do that too. Okay, well, you know, I mean, I just figured, okay? So, well, you know, I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult, right? Okay? I am currently a deputy for the whole county sheriff's office. I am honored to serve with this fantastic agency. 8 years ago, they opened their doors and they said, come on in. I remember when I applied for the position, I was 36, you know, and my husband, which I love so much, we've been married for 28 years. He deserves a medal. That's a different story. His name is Jose Martin Martinez Vargas Perez Ortiz Casca Mistral, just to let you know. It's just so no confusion, okay? When I told him I was going to apply for the sheriff's office, I wasn't working at that time. I had left my corporate job, you know, and I loved it. I loved my job. I used to serve, and I used to be the director for an assisted living facility that was responsible for 2,500 residents, different levels of care, about 270 employees in Florida, and I loved my job, even though it was difficult because you get to know the person, and that's the time where you know them, they know so much, and then they pass away. So, you know, but I just immersed myself in there, and the way that I got that job was very funny because I was there volunteering one day, the phone was ringing off the hook, I was supposed to be doing some kind of activity at the cafeteria, and the phone was keep on, and it was just bothering me. I was like, why is the phone? So I just went and, good afternoon, Stanford Center, how may I help you? The director of the facility comes out and says, excuse me, who are you? And I'm like, yes, yes, of course I'll have somebody call you back. And then when I hang up the phone, I said, sir, hi. Yeah, he goes, yeah, Jeffrey Hittle, what's your name? AnMarie, I'm just a volunteer. And he goes, really? Okay, so I'll see you later, I guess. Yes, sir, here's the message. Well, whomever needs that, okay, go ahead and pass it on. Okay, so that's how we met. That's how I met the director of the facility. And then a couple of weeks later, he calls me and says, do you need a job at that time? And I said, yes, 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 of course. So I started answering the phones. Keep in mind, I just had a high school diploma. That's all I had, okay? I was raising my girls, and I just had a high school diploma. I started that job, and he got fired about 3 months into me starting just answering the phones and helping around and just front desk help. He got fired. So the regional director walks in, and she was, you know, one of those ladies that walks in, and her eyeglasses are down, and she's like, hi, sit down, print me a rent roll. What's going on? Give me the numbers. And I'm like, I had no clue what I was doing, but I did anyway. I don't know how. All of a sudden, time goes by like that. I become the assistant director. They couldn't give me the title of director because I did not have a college degree. However, I stayed there for 8 years. And I did an outstanding job. I loved my residents. But then one day, things changed, and I started seeing that profit was way, way more important than human life. And then I went home, and I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning, and I was tossing and turning. And I'm thinking, why am I tossing and turning? What's going on? My conscience was telling me, hey, you're making a good paycheck because I was, you know, and all the bonuses, you know, all that stuff that comes with it. But you are not taking care of the human beings you're responsible for. So I got up that day, got dressed. I asked my husband, how do I look, baby? And you know he has to say, you look good, you know. I was like, okay, I look good, okay, let's go. So I went without telling him anything. That was crazy. I said to Linda McClama, my regional director, I said, Linda, I'm resigning. Here's 2 weeks' notice. Excuse me? Where do you think you're going to go without just a high school diploma, without a college? What do you think you're going to do? I'm going to continue to serve people. What? I'm going to continue to serve people. Where do you think somebody's going to give you a job that pays this much to serve people? I said, don't worry about that. Somebody has my back. I'm not going to lie and tell you that as I walked, because I like to wear high heels, I'm trying to keep on my, that walk that, and I'm going, click, 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 My knees were shaking. I'm not going to lie. I walked out of there, and I'm like, I sat in my Audi because it was a nice car, and I said, baby, I love you, but you're going to have to go. That's the last ride, and I knew it was the last ride, but you know what? That night, I slept like I hadn't slept in about 2 months, and it was good. It was good. So the car had to go, the house had to go, the nice suits had to go, because what I'm wearing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is from the Salvation Army, and I paid $10 for it. $1.99 for the scarf, $5 for the shoes. No amount of money, and some people think I'm crazy because they say, yeah, you don't come from money, so you don't understand. Hey, listen, no amount of money is going to buy my peace. No amount of money is going to have me one day when my life is over. I know I'm going to stand in front of my maker, and I'm going to have to explain, well, see, what happened was, I like that paycheck. My house, my car, whatever. No. No amount of money was going to buy who I was and what I was meant to do. No amount, okay? Let me go back to this because I'm going to forget what I'm saying. I'm keeping on track, okay? So I'm currently working, like I said, as a deputy sheriff. I'm very grateful that they gave me the opportunity at 36 to be of service, to protect people, to work for them. When I went to the academy, real quick, just so you know, I walked in, 42 people in the class here in Athens, Georgia. 4 females, the rest were guys, young, military, strong, 23, 24, 27, ha ha, and they walked in and he's like, ha. And there I am, 5'4", 268 pounds. And when I walked in, I'm standing there, I'm smiling, I'm like, and I'm thinking, OMG. And I'm trying to keep my composure, and the captain, Albritton, he sees me. He knows you can see I'm sweating. So he comes up to me, you know how that is, and he goes, "You're sweating there, Martin?" And I said, "Yes, sir." "Well, you better say don't." "Then no, sir." "Well, you better tell me the truth." "Then yes, sir." It's one of those, to make a long story short, graduated. I don't know how it happened, okay? I fought those guys. I learned how to hold my weapon, how to shoot, how to run, how to do all that stuff. The laws of Georgia, I had law enforcement, protect myself, protect all that stuff, okay? But in that transition, some of the kids that were strong and were absolutely just, the people that can just take a weapon and go, right on the head. I'm like, what is that? You start the 5 miles in the morning, and when you go, you can imagine 268 pounds. I was the last one every single time. Okay, when I looked, they were waiting for Martin. The whole class waiting for Martin to show up, okay? But I did every single day. Now, when they took the 3rd test, a group of students knocked on my door at night, and they said, hey, Martin, hey, hi. And I'm like, hey, guys, they could be my kids. We need your help, if we flunk the next test, we're going to be kicked out of the academy. Kicked out? Oh, no. Okay, so what do you need? Well, you hit 100 on every test, so we figure you could help us study. And I say, yes, of course, you know. I'm a mama, so, you know, I'm like, yes, come on in, let's do some popcorn. I started helping them, so I did. They passed the test with B's and C's, right? Then the last test, physical test, that I had to go through, Captain comes up. You know, he was like, he looked at me and I was like, ooh, automatically. Lord, he still looks at me and I got nervous. You know that's true, okay? So he looked at me, he goes, we're getting rid of you today, Martin. Today's your last day because you're not going to do those 5 miles in those 11 minutes. You ain't going to do it. And I was like, maybe this is the end of the line, you know? So I started running, and everybody else, you can't imagine, 257 pounds because I had lost a few. And as I'm trying to look at the end, I'm thinking, go ahead, I'll pray, oh Lord Jesus, help me, you know, and I'm like, ah. And then all of a sudden, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be kicked out, but I'm gonna try till I get there. All of a sudden, I hear in the back, and I got so nervous that I knew I was gonna pass out. Then in the back, I hear cadence. You know what that is? You know when they, da, na, na, na. So I hear cadence, da, na, 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 and I'm like, oh, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I know I'm losing it. You know, I hear people singing. What? I'm done. Well, maybe I'm going to heaven, you know? It's true. And I'm just there, and all of a sudden, I feel these arms coming right around me. And those young men, 3 Marines that I helped pass all their tests, they grabbed me on the side and they said, we are running with you after they finish their run, and we're going to finish together, Martin. Let's go. Breathe and sing with me. Let's go. Do it. Let's go. Do it. And we did 3 seconds to the minute. I will never forget that. I was so ever grateful. At the end, I was the valedictorian of the class, okay? And I was very humbled. I was like amazed for what happened, okay? And we'll always be grateful to Captain O'Brien for being tough on me, and to those 3 students that did their course and came back to get me and finish. Okay, so I'm so very grateful. Now, my childhood story is dark, it's painful, but, and I'm going to tell you the truth. This is going to be the first time that I'm going to tell people a few details about what really happened between me and my dad. And I prayed about this. I was very nervous because I have all these masterminds in here. I do. I mean, these are people that are just scholars. I mean, such pristine minds, you know? And I was so nervous. I'm thinking, oh my God, they're going to be checking, you know, the main idea of the thing, the thesis, the points, and the thing. And I'm over it, and Valerie calls and says, hey, AnMarie, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm good, Valerie. Everything's good? And she's like, listen, I'm just calling to tell you that I want you to be yourself. Just relax and do your thing. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, okay? Like I said, my story is dark and it's painful, but one where at the end, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. The first memory I have of my parents was when I was 5 years old. At that age, you know, I couldn't put my situation into words. It's just feelings. I felt fear, deep sadness, complete detachment. At age 5, I did not know I was supposed to be loved. I had no idea. My mother was a beautiful, smart, educated, well-versed woman, but physically and emotionally completely detached from her children. simply not there. I could see her. I could see that figure when I was little. I couldn't feel her. My father, good looking, very good looking, ladies. I'm talking about good looking. Tall, green eyes, dark hair, handsome, strong, you know. He was a good looking man, okay? Smart businessman, very proud in a negative way, and arrogant. To the outside world, he was the light of the party, the perfect boss, great neighbor. Little did they know that he was our monster. Every time he walked into my house, I could feel, I could taste, I could smell fear. I don't have any other way to explain it. I developed a keen ear to how his car sounded before he hit the front of the house, and my body started just shaking, even before he walked in the house. The kind of fear he inflicted upon us is the kind of fear that makes your body automatically pray, even if you don't know there's a God. I used to pray like this, without knowing I was praying. Give me heaven. Give me something. Give me hell. If anybody's listening, I was just a kid. If anybody's listening, I'm begging you, please, release me. Give me death. That was my prayer. 5, 6, 7, 8 years of age. That was truly my prayer. When I read still, Maya Angelou's poem, "And Still I Rise," it takes me back to the mental and physical abuse, but it takes me back in a healing way, because she had that kind of power. She still has that kind of power. Especially the part that says, "Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like tears. Weakened by my soul for Christ. It's perfect. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, I wish I could say to my dad, still, like air, I will rise." I wish I could have said that to him, but I was a kid. Dad, please, if you can, listen. I tried so many times. He never vouched, never changed, never looked at me once with love. He stole my childhood. I took the beatings. He did everything possible to break me down, everything possible. Physically, mentally, emotionally, he punched me, he kicked me, he spit on me. And sometimes he used to lick my face. And as he did that, he would say to me, "You don't even taste good." And he found pleasure in telling me, "One day, I will make you cry." That was the only one thing that I didn't give him. I didn't cry. Because my tears were the only thing that he wanted, that I had, and I refused to give it to him. Because I knew that if I did, he was going to break me. A lot of people ask me, how did you survive this? How come you're so happy? How come you can smile and love life and all that? So how can you be so, quirky and crazy, what I'm talking about? And my answer is the title to my speech. I choose to stay the course. I will come back to that little girl, 5 years old, when I finish my speech. Right now, I truly believe that my story is the story of many people. I'm just crazy enough to put it out there, hoping somebody is going to listen or maybe going through the same thing and is going to say, yes, yes, then I can make it. I can do it. I don't care if you're young and they stole your childhood or stealing your childhood. I don't care if you're old and somebody stole or took something from you. Take it back. Give them no more. Now you have the control to keep who you are and decide who you want to be. Let's look at Dr. Martin Luther King, Maya Angelou, Malala. The world knows who these people are. But have you ever heard of Viola Liuzzo? Has anybody here heard about her? You know, she was a mother. She was born in Michigan. White, suburban, nice house, nice wife, 5 kids, watching TV one day, and she saw what was happening on that march through TV. Martin Luther King. Nothing to do with her, right? She saw the people being, hosed down, kicked, punched, killed. And there she was in her perfect area. And something called within her. Something said, get in that car, go and help. Leave everything and go and help. And crazy enough, she did. She did. She went to that bridge and she started driving people back and forth. Her friends, her family, her husband, her kids were like, what? Imagine that. Imagine that. Out of nowhere. What happened? She died. She was shot while driving a couple of young black African Americans back and forth by the KKK. And some people might say, oh, well, she should have stayed home. I don't think so. I don't think so. That wasn't the plan for her. She would have lived a miserable, empty, nowhere kind of life. She would have stayed there just watching TV. It would have passed her right over. Life called. Humanity called her. And she answered. She paid the ultimate price. And students, Malala, we know, we've heard about her. You know how easy we walk into an institution like this? Look at the beauty, the history. Look at the people that are sitting right here that are challenging you every day. Student, here, listen to me. When you walk into this building every day and you're tired and you're like, oh my God, I forgot to do that essay. Lord. You know, I have one of my math teachers. She's somewhere around here. Right there. She's right. Please stand so people can see that it's true. Stand. I know you're not going to hate it, but please. That was my math teacher. Yes. Thank you. Every time you walk into a classroom, listen, don't be going. Understand that somebody, and a lot of people, not just one person, they're willing to lay down their life right now today to walk into a classroom with no air conditioner, with no roof, with not these experts, not like that, just to walk in and hear somebody reading from a book. Understand you're walking into your future. Every single day you walk into a classroom. And when you look at these teachers, listen, I don't know about you, but I'm going to tell you right now. They have what you need to build that future. They do. They could be doing something else. You know, I absolutely dislike, so I don't want to use the word hate. I absolutely dislike when somebody says, those who can't teach. What? If somebody says that in front of me, I'm like, what? Bring it on. I'm telling you right now, everything that I have bad about me is going to come right out. What did you say? It takes dedication. It takes passion. It takes determination to walk in every day and look at a bunch of people that sometimes want to learn, sometimes don't want to learn, and for you to be there teaching and doing it every day with passion, that dedication, fostering minds, developing and building brains. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So when you feel like whining because your latte or your computer is not going fast enough for you, or you're number 5 through the drive-thru to get to the class and it's just hell. I've been there, I've done that, that's why I'm saying it. Think about Malala. And honey, there's going to be a sprint on your, like, ooh, I'm going, yes. Here we go, walk in and say, hi. And the teacher's going to be like, whoa. Surprise them, say, hey, good morning, hi. Thank you, thank you. And every time you walk out, thank you. Even if they give you a big C or a D. Thank you. That's all, just thank him, okay? Take that opportunity, look at them in the eye and say, thank you. And if you're risky and crazy like me, love you. And they're going to be like, oh, my God. Okay. Have you ever heard of somebody named Maria Palacios? No. Maria Palacios, I'm going to tell you real quick. She's just 27 years old. She's a student at UNG. She came into this country through the border of Mexico with her parents. She was a child, a baby. She comes in. She lives here for about 10 years. She has no clue she was not born in the United States. Her parents get deported in the process. Something happened, driving without a license. They get shipped back. Poof. And she's like, what's going on? Taco for her is Taco Bell. Her main language is English. They do whatever they need to do. They come back. She was able to apply to become a resident. She did. And in the process, she's a resident. She's going to school. She's working at La Pollera, you know, those places. I said in Spanish, Pollera, that means, you know, the factories where they do the chicken plants, right? She's working there full-time, going to school full-time. Her hands are cut. I mean, she's tired, and she's going at it because she's going to get that degree. One day I walked into the classroom, and I looked at her, and I said, whoa, what's wrong with your hands? She looked at me and said, I work at the chicken plant. And I'm like, why? She goes, that's my full-time job. That's where I can make more money so I can help with my family and I have a baby. And I'm like, oh, okay. That was it. Second time I saw her 3 months later, I see her at a table signing people up for voting. To, you know, so you can subscribe and you can vote, the right thing to do, right? Go voting. And I see her doing that stuff and I'm come to her and I say, hey, Maria, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? Great. So, are you going to vote? And she looked at me and said, I can't, not yet. So you're helping people sign up? And, oh, yeah. And then this guy turns around and says, not only is she signing people, she's already signed 2,200 people. And she can't even vote yet. So those of you that are sitting here, respect that. Feel that. Take that in. We have so much privilege. We get so comfortable, we forget how to grow. Don't do that. There is no growth in comfort. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your success. I'm not saying that. But please, put yourself uncomfortable every once in a while so you can grow. Not only mentally, physically, or spiritually. Have a heart. Be careful. Watch your thoughts. Can we not make a conscious decision to make the traits, you know, the traits that make these people, Martin Luther King, Maya Angelou, Maria Palacios, can we not look at Malala and say, what do they have in common that I can apply in my life? Courage, would you say? Commitment? Integrity? Absolutely, they all have it. But there's a set of core values that they're not willing to negotiate. Their faith, they're not going to negotiate. And let me tell you, we're talking about Christians, right? We're talking about people that are not Christian. It's okay. The God that I serve, I don't have a problem with sharing him. The God that I serve gave me no right to judge anybody. I'm going to pray for Malala. I am going to pray for Maria, even though she's not a Christian. I am going to pray and continue to pray for humanity, because that's where, without a doubt, you will find God. Listen, if any of these powerful human beings ever cross your path, Malala or Maria, not the other ones, that would be something, okay? They'll have you on pills immediately, okay? If they ever cross your path, please just take a second and just look at that, because they made history. They made history by choosing humanity, by choosing a bigger purpose than themselves. That's how they made history. They're not any different from you and I, okay? So let me real quickly, and I'm going to close with this, go back to the 5-year-old, 7-year-old that I left behind, and tell you that when I was 11, I received the worst beating my dad ever gave me, the worst one. It ended up with a weapon being involved. So he grabbed me by my throat, shoved me against the wall, took the pistol, made me think like he was going to shoot me, and then he took it out the window, pow, pow, and took two shots. Fear, I mean, it was something. Still, I didn't cry. Somebody called the police because they heard the shots. Police shows up, 2 cops. They knock on the door. My dad, fixes his shirt. He's just always well-dressed, always well-dressed. Hi, hello, guys, hi. How can I help you? And they go, we heard shots, and your neighbor said he saw flashes coming from your window. Is everything okay? So, the officers, very nicely, we have that tricky kind of way. I kind of stand there, hello, but they kind of push their way in, to make sure we were okay, doing their job. So they looked at us, and I took my brothers and sisters out of the hiding place that I had them, because I had different hiding places for them. So I took them out, and we stood there as we've done before, and we stood there, and we're like, we're good. So one of the officers says to my dad, can we step outside? And one stayed with us inside, and the officer said to me, he was tall, taller than my dad, and I like that. I was like, So he comes up to all of us and says, are you guys okay? And we said, yes. I was 11, And then the officer looks at me and goes, are you okay? And I said, yes, sir. He goes, He took his hand, and very gently, he put it right here. And he said, are you okay here? And for the first time in my life, I cried. And as I cried, I found my humanity. As I cried, fear, rage, hate left my body. I didn't weep. I didn't make a sound. I just cried for the first time. And it took that one officer to just ask me that question, to look in my eye, just go one step further, just one little step and say, no, here. And it completely changed my life. It freed me in so many ways. I couldn't even begin to tell you, and I don't have a lot of time, so I better move on. So teachers, listen to me. When you teach, I don't have to tell you how, because hello, woo, no. But please, when you teach the impossible, okay? Foster powerful minds. Challenge these people. Do it. But if you have me in the class, be nice, okay? Hey, students, those of you who want to be a nurse, be a nurse, but be a nurse that do more than healing. Be the nurse that heals more than just the flesh, but enriches the spirit. That's the nurse we need. We don't need nurses to be congestions. Hey, no, we need the nurse that goes in there and says, I got you. And they can feel it even though they cannot hear you. That's the kind of nurse. Be a doctor that besides giving a perfect diagnosis, it becomes a part of a miracle. Be that doctor Not the one that's, yeah, hello, I 1, 2, 3, yeah, you have diabetes, you got that. Like you're some kind of oxygen. No! Don't lose your humanity in the process of acquiring who you are. Don't lose that. Be that nurse. Be that doctor. Be yourself. Dare to be yourself. If you're going to be a soldier, be the kind of soldier that fights for peace, protects human beings' life. Don't fight to protect money. God doesn't like ugly. Be the officer who serves and protects those who truly cannot breathe. Be that officer. Am I persona grata in my department for everybody? No. Do I care? No. Do I respect what I do and my superiors? Yes. But I will always answer to a higher power. I will always answer to my God and to Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's who I answer to. So when I get asked the question, whose side are you on, Martin? I'm on the side of humanity. Whose side are you? That's my answer. And I know it's not comfortable, but it's the answer. And I'm sticking to it. You know, I'm going to finish with this. I promise. The day I found my path, I did found humanity. The day I found my path at 11, it was the day I found I could be loved. Stay the course, because you are worth the dream Martin Luther King had and has for every one of you. Stay the course because you have been given the freedom to have the education Malala is willing to die for. Stay the course because a bullet can kill once, but an act of human kindness can and will forever stand the test of time. I need you. You need me, and we need each other. Don't believe for a second that at this very moment in humanity, all is good with the world. Please, beloved, get out of my way if you think nothing's happening. And in the words of Dr. Maya Angelou, you may write me down in your history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trap me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I will rise. Thank you very much.